And he went through towns and villages, teaching and making his way to Jerusalem. Someone said to him, Lord, will only a few be saved? He said to them, strive to enter through the narrow door, for many, I tell you, will seek to enter and will not be able. Once the head of the house gets up and shuts the door, and you begin to stand outside and to knock on the door, saying, Lord, open to us. And answering, he will say to you, I do not know you, where you come from. Then you will begin to say, we ate in your presence and drank, and you taught in our streets. But he will say to you, I do not know you, where you come from. Go away from me, all you evildoers. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth when you see Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and all the prophets in the kingdom of God, and you yourself thrown outside. And people will come from east and west and from north and south, and will sit at the table in the kingdom of God. And behold, they are last who will be first, and they are first who will be last. Good morning. Welcome to a short biblical reflection on the Gospel according to Luke chapter 13, verses 22 up to 30. The Gospel reading for 21st Sunday in Ordinary Time, Year C. As usual, I try to translate the text quite literally, and here now I would like just to point out one particular verb. Some translations translate, and you will try to enter and will not be able. I'm translating it literally, you will seek to enter and you will not be able. If you take the literal meaning of the verb to seek, to look for, to search, then you find the same verb earlier in chapter 12 in two particular instances when Jesus says, do not seek what you are to eat and what you are to drink, and do not worry. Instead, seek the kingdom of God, and all these things will be given to you as well. So the literal meaning, seeking, is not just only that they are making an effort, but they are out of the target. They are not focusing properly on the target. They are searching for other things instead of the proper thing. Let us see now the biblical context. Similar sayings we find in the Gospel according to Matthew chapter 7 verses 13 up to 23. Therefore I put those two texts parallel side by side so we can see the similarities and the differences. In fact, both texts complement each other. In both texts is about few people. As we have in Lucan Gospel, the term that is used, and I translated literally, is the door, narrow door, because then follows the story about the head of the house, and the word door is more appropriate. However, Matthew's Gospel is about the narrow gate and road that is hard. And then the complementarity. In Lucan Gospel, you will seek to enter and you will not be able, while in Matthew's is just corresponding to it. There are few who will find it. So seeking in Lucan Gospel, finding in Matthew's Gospel. Then also the justification of those who were outside. In the Lucan Gospel, very short, we ate in your presence and drank, and you taught in our streets. More extensively in Matthew's Gospel. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father. On that day many will say to me, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and cast out demons in your name, and do many deeds of power in your name? Then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Go away from me, you doers of iniquity. So more peculiarities of the justification is said in Matthew's Gospel, while in Lucan's Gospel is quite short. So we can understand that doing all these good things doesn't guarantee to enter the kingdom of heaven, to enter through that narrow gate or narrow door, or walking on that road that is hard. But in Lucan Gospel, the additional element which is spelled out is about those who are last and first, that last will be first and first will be last. From that perspective, we could understand firstly in the sense that it refers to Jewish people, especially to Jewish leaders, that now people from other parts will come and they will be first, and those who pretended to be first, they will be last. This is that possibility. But we can also look at another text. In fact, we could read it from the perspective of what St. Paul is discussing in the first letter to Corinthians, chapters 12 and 13, where St. Paul is making the statement about some members of the community who received various spiritual gifts, but they were misusing those gifts for their own benefit, for their own pride, instead for the service in the community. Few verses from chapter 12, verses 28 up to 31. Some people of God has designed in the church to be first apostles, second prophets, third teachers, then mighty deeds, then gifts of healing, assistance, administration, and varieties of tongues. Are all apostles? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Do all work mighty deeds? Do all have gifts of healing? Do all speak in tongues? Do all interpret? Strive eagerly for the greatest spiritual gifts. And then in chapter 13, he says, if I speak in human and angelic tongues, but I do not have love, I'm a resounding gong or a clashing cymbal. And if I have the gift of prophecy and comprehend all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to move mountains, but do not have love, I'm nothing. And if I give away everything I own, and if I hand my body over so that I may boast, but I do not have love, I gain nothing. So all these gifts without the love serves for nothing. So extending it to the letter of Saint Paul in Corinthians, we can see also a clear application not only to the past, to the Jewish people at Jesus' time, but also to future, in any time, at any community, doing good things, but with proper intent, with proper purpose, not in accordance with God's will, doesn't serve, doesn't help. I would like to wish you a nice day and fruitful reflection on this gospel reading. God bless you.